Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mate.
Like my haters, like my coffee extra mad and bitter. And then they're loyal like juicer, yeah, the man's a quitter. He's strapped face up behind the platinum grill. I style faceless, just pick these mic skills. And in the street killer, I will not be denied. That I'm mic'd up, I raise my head with pride. A force of nature cruising the whip, doing one-bys on your boulevard. Face my verbal clip. In this land of live streams, baby, I'm on the road. Got my feet on the media, scraping them up my souls. It's that umbrella guy facing the accusers. Cleated outside 14s, crushing all those losers. It's that umbrella guy, they said we couldn't make it. Never ask permission, just sense our goal and take it. The media buzzwords, they will never save you. Listen and believe it's meant to enslave you. Challenging the hypocrites, and baby, I'm on fire. They flash titles like they're royalty, but it's true that I'm a journalist. Scribble nursey rhymes, one in this grill in a basket, with a tisket and a tasket, and their morals in a casket. No morals in a casket. They're always pushing make believe and weaving straw to gold, but I'm sick of all the fairy tales and buying what I'm sold. Strolling into the backyard, taking truth on tour, baby, there is sickness, and that umbrella guy's got the cure. Look, it's that umbrella guy knocking at the door. No more ministry of truth than the plot of 1984. They're dumping all my verbal clips. The case is filled with knowledge. They're on the mic like kindergarten, and I'm taking them to college. Why the mask, baby? Cause this has to be a crime. I'm taking the mic and boom, they're in the chalk outline. I used to throw up elbows, but now I'm dropping nukes. You wrote another hit piece, isn't that cute? And the worst part, they'll never learn. Did before the state start channeling crash and burn. They pretend that we need to get their permission. That umbrella guy crushing their ambitions. You're not my competition. It's that Umbrella. It's that umbrella guy steamrolling them out for fun. Mic check, mic wreck, paging this army of one. There's no hesitation, no doubt, not even a scintilla. The Tokyo baby in me, I'm Godzilla. Crushing them like Godzilla.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, what a crazy day. I get something really crazy for you today because, yeah, apparently, well, I'm going to go with allegedly. Allegedly is always a good word. Allegedly, a certain member of the ecosystem has been making, I'm going to say, more than threats. They've been trying to get people to, well, let's do, let's say, do terrible things. And when I say terrible things, I'm talking about putting the old slish slash on some tires, trying to recruit people to do harm to Mr. Hales. And yeah, we got some text messages to go over tonight. Wow, the fun never ends. I swear, dude. I swear. Like when you go through and you look at all of this insanity, I mean, you hit 700. Well, that's the tip of that proverbial iceberg. How about allegedly offering people, what was it, $6,000 to do harm, to do actual harm? Or hiring somebody to go to different places and paying them thousands to potentially get into a ruckus with Mr. Hale. This stuff is nuts, man. The idea, what's wild is the idea that they could do it is so believable anyway. Because these people are obsessively, like, just crazy. And then we have text messages that go along with it. And when I say text, man, I'm talking about just to say, I'm going to show you, bud. I'm going to show you a short, but I'm also going to show you. Well, here, I don't want to ruin the fun, but I'm going to show you. Let's see. Well, it didn't come up on there. Let's see. That's part of it. Didn't pull it up yet. Give me a second. It's being stupid. Give me 1 minute. It'll pull up in a second. There's all kinds of, this is in my evidence folders. You can only see a couple of them. You can see like Lawy on the side. That's lawyers, the crazy people, and some of their phone stuff that they've put up online before, way back when. And then there's this. Let me see. Give me 1 second. God, there's so much of this stuff. Takes me a minute to get it locked in. There we go. Check this out. I'm not going to ruin it yet, like I said. I will better turn the transcript. There's a transcript. But yeah, look, we got a whole whopping set of what we would call proofs. Not just one little bitty thing. Because yeah, this is going to get real fun. Now, today started out with, I actually, when I heard about this today, I went and I wanted to see what was connected to this. And by the end of the day, there are multiple police departments that are involved in this mess. That's right, police, of course. You have multiple people confirming stories. So there are other people, again, the ultimate confirmation, I will use alleged. And the reason I will do that even with text messages is because the police are the ultimate method of making certain that this stuff is real, or going beyond that. I mean, you get into litigation or anything else, but it doesn't look good. Let's just say that it looks like somebody paying to slash tires, paying to intimidate. See, you got to remember this too when we talk about this, okay? And we're going to play this short first, and we're going to go through all of that other mess right there. But you got to remember, having somebody do that to another person, that wouldn't just be having them do that deed. The whole point in that is to intimidate them. You incite other people to intimidate them. And there are awful people out there. There are awful people that will do anything for nothing. You got to remember, we live in a world where somebody might deprive you of, well, of your ability to breathe, let's just say, for $20. So if somebody were to potentially offer hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to do something awful, what then? We've already heard about hitmen and all of that wonderful stuff in the past too. So it looks like there's this, it's just this madness. So anyway, let's look at the short first. God, yeah, evil lurks among us. Exactly, Jerry. Exactly. God, I mean, these folks. The fact that you can believe that, see, the fact that we can go in, we can look at this, and we can be like, yeah, I could definitely see these idiots doing, well, not just this, but much worse. I mean, really, remember that as part of the allegation in here right off the bat, you know, this is alleged in courtrooms, and well, I mean, we've seen some pretty awful stuff with our own eyes. You got to remember that the ecosystem brought in a felon, and is connected to a felon and a felon. So, you know, we're not talking about the nicest, loveliest bunch of people. We also saw the John Cook statements about not just a hitman thing, where we heard about that, but we heard about, you know, feeding someone to alligators. And we've seen other threats too. But anyway, let's listen to this first. And then, and also, if you haven't seen this, you should definitely go and check that out. And on top of it, you know, I am absolutely sure with a topic like this that there will be discussion about it Sunday. Sunday on Hales will probably be a heck of a banger for information. So I'm sure that one will be one to tune into. God, today, I can't believe like a Saturday. Let's check this out.
Of Guano just offered $700 for another auction storage unit buyer to slash George's tires on her vehicle.
My tires.
Yeah.
I've never even done anything to this guy, and he wants to harm my vehicle.
See, you know, but with that though, you got to remember, somebody doing things to you is one thing. Someone doing things to someone you care about, that is not just one of the lowest forms of intimidation, but it's meant to send a message. And you got to remember too, you weren't probably supposed to know about this. So, you know, when you think about it, they were wanting it done, and they were just wanting it to pop up. What, you know, something bad happened, but you wouldn't know how or who. You know, you'd have your pet theories over it. You'd be able to say, yeah, I bet these people did it. But at the same time, you know, and it's also another thing I was thinking about when I saw this is the fact that you have a competing business that is doing these kind of things. This is the kind of stuff that gets you shut down. So anyway, let's continue. Hey, now you can see this is a little bit. Now, there were some people that were saying, well, right here, this doesn't really say anything, right? Okay, well, we'll look through everything. When you see the messages, yeah, there's a lot more. It's not just a little bit, because you can see a little bit here. Like I said, there were people that were like, well, that's not really saying. Well, it's because there's much more, and you only get so much room in YouTube short. That's why I wanted to track down what exactly led to this. That's why I ended up with, I was like, I want to see some, you know, everything. I want to see what the police would see. Maybe that's what. And there's more too. There's more than even I have, but I'm sure that'll probably, after it's all put together and given to the police, every single thing in there and all stories and stuff, they've been confirmed, then you would end up with more. But let's continue. So you can see some of it, like I said, but that's
He's about to
not
add
everything.
to that record. We're on our way to the police station right now. We've already contacted them. We're going to in-place meeting with all of the evidence. Interesting. The anti-ecosystem continues to incriminate themselves, and the records keep getting longer and longer and longer. Hey, only me. Why are you funding our harm and potentially even our death, as you're going to see in the upcoming Ohio court hearings? Yeah, these individuals have been attempting to hire somebody to kill, unalive, delete us.
That's crazy, by the way. Now, I would take the only me thing as a question potentially. Like, hey, why would you do this? Now, I saw some commentary from Only Me saying, of course, I'm not doing that. I guess the question would come from the amount of money, because it's like how's this guy offering people thousands of dollars to do harm? This guy that's I don't think he's been that successful, but how is that? And on top of it, I mean, these people, they did some pretty awful shit, and they reaped some pretty significant financial benefits from their pretty awful shit. So I could see why somebody would be like, hey, what's going on with that? What's going on, period. Now, like I said, when people saw that text message, there were some that were like, hey, that's not enough to say that anything's going on there. But there is like I said, there is a lot more. And when you get to certain portions of this exchange, it does kind of get a little crazy. And yeah, it's definitely there. It's not, it's not just some weird paranoia. You're definitely having here. This let me just show you a little shot from it, and then we'll go through everything. But you can see that, you can see the way that this stuff comes up. There's just there's conversation in the middle of it that it's like, wait a minute. that's where it gets a little crazy, So let's look through this together, and then well, you can tell me what you think about it all. Okay, so let's check everything out. Gosh, man, this stuff is so nuts. Yeah, Rebel Bird. I know this stuff does sound like a crazed conspiracy, and not the conspiracy theory type of conspiracy, but actual conspiracy. By the way, appreciate you folks showing up today. We're talking about over 2,000 of you yet again. Like I said, consistency, baby. All you folks are always out. Thank you. Appreciate you. If you want to do solid here, tell people we are live. Of course, we keep most days. We try to. Anyway, if you'd like to, tell them we're live. Tell them also that it's going to be an entertaining one. On top of that, if you'd like to go further, then consider hitting that subscribe and like button. Of course, smack that like button up good. Pay that lurker tax in commentary. Drop a yo, a hey, a you, whatever. Drop a comment. And also, if you want to go further, drop a little bit of that. Well, depending on the way you think, drop a little bit of that breadstick with that chicken skin money. That's right. All right. So let's go through this. Now you can see exchanges through here, and this stuff is not happening just in a vacuum. You're going to have some of this pop up at the beginning, and then it's going to roll back up. But you can see, you can see some commentary at first. You see it all roll back, a lot of conversation, and how this stuff comes together. First items, You know, it's a little blurry. You can see some discussion about making some deals there. And then, well, let's just look through it all together. Okay. First of all, you know, like I said, it starts out normal enough. You know, you're talking about items, just item discussion. Hey, look at that. By the way, anything good in there? Yeah, look at the little systems. Like I said, it's just, hey, look, I got games, I got this item, I got that item. You know, the kind of stuff you would expect through exchanges with some of these folks. Hey, I got Snap-on toolbox sets. You know, just whatever you could come up with. Not a bad thing, not a big deal. Just normal stuff. You have discussions about how much, you know, ooh, yeah, I like that. I like what you're coming up with. Costs on it. I don't know how much any of this stuff would be worth, by the way. So I don't know personally if any of that would be a good discussion. I have to go through here slow. All right. I'm just poking through here. But you can see the talk about that, you know. Yeah, you know, like I said, up, you know, 6,000 costs and more. Give me a second here. Then there was like, hey, you know, anything else cool? No. Yo, call me ASAP. You won't believe who's at this live auction. All right, now you notice, again, anytime you type in, and I've noticed this, by the way, anytime that I'm talking about like what the hells, stuff like that will come up. You know, it won't come at HALE. It comes up, what the hell? But you can see this discussion. And all of this is important in context. When you put everything together, it kind of it gives you it gives you an idea of what's happening. This stuff flies by too in here. So can I make it bigger? No, it can only go this big. You know, I'll read it, but that's about as big as I can make it. You know, it will not blow up anymore because these are not screenshots. This is it's put together into a video format, so I can't just roll it up. Otherwise, we'd have to look at just the way that this is recorded and put together. It would take about, I don't know, 80 or 90 screenshots just because it's scrolling. You know, it just, the pieces together, they don't come together good. Somebody might go through and screenshot, but again, I'll read everything to you and I'll roll it through, you know, because you can see, hey, I'll ask the beginning. Like I said, the other stuff is just auction talk. You know, it's the kind of stuff, again, it's good to lay the background because people are just discussing, hey, here's items. I'm trying to sell these items. You know, again, it's the small talk that you kind of expect as a foundation when you're getting to know somebody. And again, why is that important? Well, it adds a little credibility, I'm going to say, you know. When anybody's talking about something, it definitely does. Then you get to this part here. Like I said, you can see the discussion here. You know, I'll ask around though. Anything else cool? Then you had no. Then you have conversation pop up, and it's like, yo, call me ASAP or as soon as possible. You know, somebody's like, yo, hit me up right now. You won't believe who's at this live auction. It's what the hells? Huh. So you get a, hey, where you at? Where are you? Where are you? And then you get a place. Mount Sterling. Mount Sterling, huh? I don't really know anything about that. Yeah. I'll pay you good money. Is the auction still going on? And they're like, yeah, there's like 6 YouTubers here. Well, 6 YouTubers, that's interesting. Yeah, you know, it's too far away. It's like 2 hours. I won't make it. I'll pay you some bread. Now, you know, now when you look at this, now this is where you get into very well. What is this? This interesting. I'll pay you some bread. What's this? Does that look like a little wheel, perhaps? You know, the old school type, like the little spokes wheel. And it's like, okay, let me get a drink. Give me 1 second. I lost my chat. I accidentally closed you guys out. I like to try to keep an eye on things. Like I said, I'd blow it up more if I could, but that doesn't, it's not. What in the world? Give me 1 second. Somebody else is messaging me something crazy. One second. What is that? Okay, hold on for 1 second. I'm sorry. Man, I swear. Hey, give me 1 minute, okay? I have to make sure that that something's here. Man, there's so much crazy going on right now that other people are messaging me crazy stuff during this too. Oh my God, this story's so crazy, man. Everything's going on all right at the moment. You're right, JD. JD's like, everybody can talk that now because Tug can't see us. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Tug needs to get music. Yeah, that's what it is. Put on some hold music there. No, I didn't want to really go with a hold music. I just wanted to stop for a second there. But you can see, okay. I'll pay you some bread. You can see the little tire right there. There's vehicle. So you can see a little vehicle right there or anything. Now, again, we'll go back and look at for what? Tires damage anything. That's right here. Just this section alone is pretty nasty, because again, you won't believe who's at the auction. What the hell's at it? Where are you at? Well, I'm at this one specific place. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I'll pay you good money. Is the auction still going? Well, there's like 6 YouTubers here. And then it's like, yeah, it's still going. But then it's too far away. I can't make it myself. I won't make it. But you know what? I'll pay you some bread. And, for they show a tire. They show a vehicle or anything. And they're like, for what? For tires, for damage, for anything. So again, you decipher that, you're not talking about buying a fucking storage unit when you start talking about damage. This isn't coded out enough that you can't kind of figure out even from right there. It's starting to get a little, wait a minute. Yeah, that's tiny. Well, you can't make it any bigger, folks. I'm just telling you. You can't blow it up. It's a video in a box, so I can't blow it up. If you want, you can try to screenshot it, but like I said, I'm reading it to you. It is what it is. So I get it's small, but like I said, it's a video. Screenshots are how we blow up. For video, you can't enlarge the screen out of the video box, because this isn't. Hey, we're not talking like a video on YouTube where I can zoom in. This is like you get your evidence as you get your evidence. If it comes written on a shoestring, it's you take it. Shoestring, but I mean, it is what it is. But still, I hear you though. That's why I have to break it down like this too, because we have to roll it. So, tires damage anything. I won't make it there in time. It's 2 hours away. Then it gets into, hey, wait, the more the better. So it's telling them the more that you do, the better that it's going to be. The better you're going to make, the more that you do, the better it is for me, but also money. So they're being offered straight up through this money. There's little dollar signs, and it tells them you're there for profit. So why don't you do damage for me? Let me drop a few dollar dues on you too. The more damage that you can do, tires that you can do, the better. You know, because you're there for profit, right? Oh my God. You know. It's a donut. Yeah, that is a donut. Then they tell them, okay, it's going to get even better here. They're like, who you with? And then the person tells them, I don't know. It's risky. There's over 100 people here. So the person, when they're like, yo, I don't know if I could do this here. You know, first of all, if you're telling me to get involved in whatever your crazy issues are, and you're trying to talk me into doing something insane, that's one thing. You know, you might try to. I could see like a person wanting to not be involved. You know, and they're looking for a reason there. And a good reason would be there's a lot of people around. You know, again, you know you're not talking about something legitimate. When you put all this stuff together, like I said, you take everything, and people are like, I don't know if I want to do that. There are a lot of people around. There are 100 people here, and it's risky. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb here and saying, this is bad again. Again, police will be the ultimate verifier. They will be. They'll be the ultimate verifier. You know, it's funny, by the way. Let me just say this as we're going through here. We've had, I'm sure we'll get a lot of denials on it, and they're entitled to their denials, by the way. They absolutely are. But we've had a lot of people that took as gospel calls that supposedly went to a school, and they denounced all of this stuff. They said it was horrible, that it was trying to destroy lives and reputations. Only the calls to a school, if they ever happened, call singular, by the way, was about uploading videos of kids online in a schoolroom. All right. How the fuck can you, how could you call this anything but trying to get somebody to do something terrible? That's what it sounds like, very much. How else can you interpret this? I mean, I'm open to other interpretations, but we've had all these people screaming, oh, we denounce this, we denounce anything, and yet behind the scenes, look at all the fucking crazy and all the threats. I mean, again, how many threats do we see coming from people like Paint Chips, you know, talking about just horrible stuff? How many threats have we seen come from John Cook? Talking about wanting to do terrible things himself. Or, you know, again, we heard about ye old hitman, and now we've got this kind of stuff. Now, then we get with the amount of people, you know, what? Damn, you know? Then it was like, yeah, and everyone knows me. I can't. So you have you know, again, you're not talking about something legit. Absolutely, because why would you care if people saw you? Like I said, this tried to be coded. It tried, but when you got into the damage part, the damage word by itself kind of gives away the game. You know, well, tires, damage, whatever, the more the better. You know, you're not talking about, again, buying space savers, you know, or damaged stuff. No. But like I said, with the totality of it, it gets even worse. But they're like, yeah, you know, everybody knows me. I can't be involved in this kind of crazy. I can't do that, you know, all these people. And you think about this too. In the pursuit, this is something else that we have seen time and again with this ecosystem. Anytime these people are chasing their vengeance, they don't care about the collateral damage. They never care about the collateral damage. They don't care if they get another person hurt. They don't care who they bring in. and what kind of damage they do to their lives. You know, a lot of the ecosystem, in fact, when you look at a lot of these people, when they were recruited into this, do you think the people that recruited them absolutely, you know, they gave two craps about what would happen as they continued forward? Do you think they also, as these people get more and more vindictive, they actually care about the originators of this stuff too? You know, we had Preston and Cook for the longest time used as the way to explain this stuff away. Oh, we're just in it to win it for them. Does this sound like you're in it to win it for them? Does it sound like, again, as we talk about the issues that could potentially pop up with a bankruptcy and more, where it's a gamble? Yeah, I mean, you think you could wipe away debt, but you could lose everything you own in the process because of homesteading. Does that really sound like they care? $100,000 taken from those people, nobody lifting their voice. Does it really sound like they care? No, they absolutely don't care. It's just this obsessive, vindictive need to do harm. And again, I'm saying with this stuff, this is alleged, but with everything we've seen so far, my point stands. Because these people, again, do you see them looking out for anyone but self? Absolutely not. It's just a weird obsession game, you know? So let's continue on that. Now they say you can leave early. All right. You could leave early, right? You could just bounce out, which is the dumbest idea, by the way. You know, well, you could do these things and you could leave early. Afterwards, I mean, how would that keep anybody, like, what kind of a modeled brain do you have to think that leaving early would somehow in some way make you look less guilty? I mean, honestly, oh, there's over 100 people here, you know? Well, yeah, they know who exactly I am. Well, you know what? You could leave early. No, that, if anything, would make you look more guilty. I'm just saying. These people are not criminal masterminds. Look at the genius behind this plan. Oh my God. It's like one of those really bad movies where you watch people try to figure out what to do to set up some kind of crime. You could leave early. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh my God. You're not going to, I mean, period. Don't do bad things, period. But my God, if you ever were going to do something bad, don't conspire with idiots. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like a way to go to jail. Maybe this is why, again, I'm sure we'll get more story about where all this stuff comes from and everything else. I'm sure we'll hear more about that probably Sunday after everything is handed over to the police and more. But what I would say here is, yeah, I'd probably want to turn it over too, because this is not the best way to do any kind of crazy. I mean, oh my God. So then you get, after you can leave early, you get a think about it. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it and it sounded like the dumbest idea ever. Then we get the pay rate for that. I'll give you $700. Huh. $700 freaking dollars off of that. So damage. Again, you got the slashing tires. And like Jeremy said too, you know, what the hell's for these people, what the hell's, it includes people that they've never had a problem. They've never done anything. But then again, you know, from what I've seen from these specific people that are, you know, the allegations are against here, it didn't matter that George had never done anything to them at all. Because again, this just unwielding obsession, this need to go after Hales and to do damage, it doesn't stop with him. You know, if you hurt somebody that's associated with them, then you hurt them. That's a frightening thought in its own way, just because they don't give a shit. So let's continue there. I'll give you $700, huh? LOL, get right. Up to you though, gang. If not, call if not, call me after. Now, you're gonna get now again. If this has not been enough for you yet, if all you wonder, you're still like, maybe they're talking about something legitimate. First of all, I can say that you probably don't know the people we're dealing with. And second of all, I'm like, well, you give the benefit of the doubt quite a bit to folks. And third, I'll say, well, you know, maybe this next line here, maybe that one will really speak to you. You know, the one that says, what I got to do? Stab his tire? Yeah, you're totally talking about buying donuts or doing legit stuff in an auction. What do I got to do here? What do I got to do to get my $700 dues? What do I got to do? Stab his tire? Oh my God. Now, of course, you know, like I said, there's going to just be all kinds of stupid and freaking denial. That always happens. Now, what kind of answer do you think you would get with this? $700. Now, for $700, around over 100 people to see you doing it. First of all, I'm going to say again, if all of this, I don't doubt this stuff, but like I said, I will go with alleged until police will verify it. But let's just say, when all this stuff is verified, and again, I'm sure, I don't know the verification process or any of that. Again, I'm sure that will come up. But I would say somebody has to feel pretty good about what they're saying with people that are involved and more to go out and be like, yo, this is going on. So think about this. They're not just asking for one tire to go down. They want 4 tires to go down. 4 of them. They have to take down they have to take down 4. Now, the dollars per gets pretty low when you think about it, because they're not just going to walk up. How do you not get caught doing this? Let me ask you that first. You got over 100 people there. They want this person to walk around a car and flatten 4 tires. Flattening a tire is not easy, by the way. I had a friend that owned a junkyard, and we would go around and we'd do all kinds of crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But they were his vehicles, you know. We could junk cars when we were supposed to smash them. You know, this is when I was a teenager. We'd just do absolutely crazy things. You know, we get stuff like mannequins and everything. We'd set them in the vehicle, you know, and we'd see what would happen when you did certain things, crushing them, you know, trying to understand stuff. But one of the things we wanted to understand at one time was flattening tires on your own, because that's not easy. You know, when in movies, somebody just goes by and they tap a tire and boof, it's gone, right? Yeah, it's not that simple. You might be able to, again, you get lucky with a knife. If we were sharp enough, you get lucky, go through and stick one tire, bam, because of all the pressure, all the weight of the car holding it up. But to go through, and when you do that, sometimes it releases slowly. And people might not notice it. But one of the things you'd run into as well, like a couple of times, we did this to a few vehicles. Like I said, we'd end up with vehicles with old nasty tires, you know, that there would be no resale value to them or anything like that. So, you know, we'd try stuff like that. And when you flatten them up, every now and then, the weight of the vehicle, it would cause them to just, you know, and it would drop the weight and you could hear it. It'd make a substantial amount of noise. So with this person, there would be no way that they could get away with it. So they're not only being recruited into some insanity there, but thank you, Tinsel. I give you 100 just for showing the stupidity. Yeah, you know, and the craziest thing about this, ultimately, is that Hales, he has to worry not about himself. Like for yourself, it's got, see, I feel like this on a lesser degree sometimes. I walk around, but I have 2 little kids with me a lot. And I have crazy people that have made threats. I don't have them living across the street, or I don't have a business they can lock in on, though. But you know, I go out, I have to be strapped. Now, for myself, I don't really worry. But for kids, that makes you even more hyper vigilant. You know, I don't want them doing anything. I don't want them going out in the backyard without around, because I just don't trust, you know, I don't trust that people are not insane enough to do something. Now with Hales, he's working around a bunch of people, adults that he cares about, plus, you know, their families and more. You imagine the amount of stress stuff like this causes, because again, this, as he noted, wasn't really targeted. They thought they were targeting him, I believe, you know, from the exchange. They had what the hells. So they may have thought they were just targeting him, or just they don't care, you know. They were targeted. They may have figured, hey, who cares? As long as it's what the hells, the brand, it'll hurt Jeremy. So target them and slash their tires. All 4 freaking tires. Ugh. That's nuts. Now the person wisely off of this is like, damn, that's risky as if. And yeah, that's true. Like I said, doing 1 is pretty crazy. Doing 4, that's next level. And again, they wanted to pay this person to do it $150 a tire. That's pretty much what they're getting into, you know. I mean, they got 700, so I mean, you're getting a little more. I mean, honestly, we were talking about what, 170? What is that? 175, isn't it? I mean, if we're actually being correctly, it's 175, right? But still, it's less than $200 a tire. So $175 a tire. That would be our correct number. I would not risk my freedom, period. But I definitely wouldn't risk my freedom. These are like crackhead prices again. You know, it reminds me of, do you remember that statement from Paint Chips where he was talking about having a couple of pipe hitters, you know, go and tune somebody up? It reminds me of those kind of statements, you know. That's not a lot of respect for this person either. They're like, yeah, you're probably going to get caught doing this. They would have caught both parties in this too. So again, if this is indeed, when it ends up being verified, if this is indeed legit, the sender here should be very lucky that person did not go through with this. I mean, my God, there, you know. Then you got to leave the auction early before everyone walks to the whip. My God, man. People, I swear to God. Oh no, gang. You got to do it before it walks to the whip. Oh my God, man. This is insufferable to listen to. I can only imagine like talking to them in real life. Ugh. It sounds very insufferable just to listen to off of this. But yeah, he's telling them again, you got to leave early. You got to get it where everybody is inside and everyone is focused on buying lots. You know, if they're all in there, they're all focused on what they're there for, you know, which I guess for this person, They're not supposed to be focusing on any of that stuff either. They're just supposed to be there, drop everything, and again, go target the person that you're obsessed with. But if you leave early while they're all in there, you totally won't get caught. The assumption on that, the assumption that there's nobody that's going to see you. There's no random camera that's going to pop up and catch you. There's no security camera that's going to pop up and catch you. Oh my God. How stupid. I'm not laughing at the I mean, these people are nuts, you know. This is just stupid. But I'm laughing at the stupidity because there's no way you get away with this. I can understand now why this would be linked over to Jeremy Hales, because this person was probably like, Lord God. First of all, maybe they were just like, oh, this is crazy, and I don't want to be involved in it. Or maybe they looked at it and they thought, this person is also, they're going to get caught soon, because there's no way that they could go around making offers like that and it not come up. And if you think that this is too stupid, by the way, to really happen, then you probably haven't kept up with with some of the crimes that have gone on. You know, like well, there's 2 movies out there. I'm not recommending one of them for sure because of some of the gross stuff in it. But you have movies like Bully, you know, where you have a group of people, they decide according to them, the person that they, let's say, off, that person was such a horrible person. So they ended up, quote unquote, dealing with them. Well, they had all this evidence that they left behind. All these people were bragging about it and more. Those people were idiots. Then you have, you know, things like Alpha Dog. I'm sure a lot of you may have seen that movie. With Alpha Dog, you know, you have a group of people that over a debt, they decide to kidnap somebody's brother. They parade them around, and then at the end of the day, they decide to, let's just say, dispose of the evidence, which you know, was a tragic thing. But these people were so dumb that they allowed there to be hundreds of witnesses to what they're doing. The point here is that there are many, many idiots out there. They do not think about what they're doing, and that's probably good, you know, because I have to say, in dealing with this crowd, I worry for Jeremy Hale sometimes. I worry about their short-term thinking like this, but also their long-term thinking, you know? I mean, they've bragged openly that they have tried to conspire with Levy County to do terrible things. You know, you've had QL go on stream and talk about that. It's lunacy, some of the things they have bragged about doing. I'm glad, by the way, they're dumb enough to brag about this stuff, because if anything ever happens, then at least you know who did it. But it's a terrible world to live in, where you have to worry that somebody might actually have one of these people do something terrible. So anyway, let's keep going. Now, then it goes to, after you got to leave early before everyone walks to the whip, you know, before everyone gets to the car. You may think people know you, but bro, you're not a YouTuber. What an egotistical fucking thing to say, by the way. You may think that people know you, but you're nobody, sir. Nobody's gonna notice you. You're not a YouTuber. Now, that actually sounds like a certain person these allegations are against. You know, I remember them talking about nobodies out there. They were like, oh man, these people that Megan Fox that tugged their nobodies. And I thought, man, you know, I have like 15 times, 20 times the subscribers you do. If I'm a nobody, then I guess that makes you what? And the same thing with Megan Fox. It dwarfs this person with subscribers and more, but the ego to them, oh, I'm a YouTuber. I am the most amazing person ever. Oh my God. This whole thing is turning into a Tarantino movie. Well, it definitely sometimes sounds like that. Some of the players in it, for sure. They also talk a lot. So dialogue wise, yes, they talk about their plans a lot. But he's like, well, you're not a YouTuber. I don't think anyone would notice you leave early, but it's up to you. You may think those people that you're friends with and that talk to you, you may think that they know you, but bro, man, they're not going to notice you because you're not a YouTuber. Nobody's gonna see you leave early. You're a ghost. You're like the second coming of the Invisible Man. Oh my God. Oh, what an idiot. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, how is this real? Oh, jeez, man. Okay, let's see. Let's keep continuing. But that's up to you. You see all the pressuring, and then it ends with that's up to you. Like I said, we'll do a read through right after we catch everything. I just don't really want to make some commentary with it as we go. You're there, I'm not. So I don't know how it looks. You see the pressure again, too. You know, you're not. Nothing's going to happen to you. Nobody's going to see you. You're invisible. Besides, $700 reduce, baby. $700 reduce. What the hell, man? Absolutely, what the hell? I mean, God, that's exactly what I thought. You know, it says that's one drug-addled mind looking there. That's exactly what I thought when I saw it. I thought, man, you know. This sounds like somebody who is let a lot of their time eat away. But then again, I mean, you don't want to give people, some of these folks, credit because it might not just be the substances that have addled their mind. They might have not had a lot to work with, you know. It's like sometimes you can blame you can blame the sun for the Play-Doh, you know, because it's hardened and you can't do anything with it. But sometimes they screwed up at the factory too, you know. Sometimes it's just a mess. They don't get the formula quite right, you know. So some of these people, let's just say they're not firing all cylinders to begin with. I mean, we've heard them. So, but he's like, you're there, I'm not. I don't know how it looks. I don't know if you can get away. Coast isn't clear. Look at this too. He's like, oh, okay. And then he tries to reinforce the $700 thing. $700 is enough to take that risk, though, gang. I'm gonna be real. Fuck that, dude. You're not gonna pay me $700. You know, I'm not trying to insult $700. By the way, $700 is $700. You know, I wouldn't mind having $700 right this moment, but at the same time, I'm not gonna risk my freedom. You know. The bail money that you're going to pay out, and on top of that, the fines you're going to get hit with, and then the lawsuit that you're going to get hit with on top of that too, that's going to cost you more than $700. Let me say, that is definitely going to be worse. So $700 is not that much when you get down to it. I can't believe that they would try to talk people into. Again, they're giving them crackhead prices. They think that this person is, you know, off in the corner needing a fix or something, and they're trying to pay them nothing. And again, they're trying to talk them into a crime. That's again the allegation for it. You know, like I've said, and I've said this a few times now, allegation. I'm not saying that I don't know the whole contest, but I know that this was believed enough that it went to the police. Not only the police, but the police in 2 places. I know that 100% has happened. I know that. Like I said, so, any of these idiots that want to come out and be like, oh, that is manufactured. Well, if you believe that, again, people don't risk their freedom manufacturing fake communications where they know that there are going to be not 1, but 2 police departments that are going to be on the ready looking through this stuff. That would be absolute lunacy, Could only me be pulled into the conspiracy for funding these idiots. Well, again, I understand. Okay, so I think the only me thing is it's 2 things. It's a question and it's a reaction. I think Hales is getting to the point where he's seeing these people coming up with, it's not just the $700 thing. Again, there's other talk of people being offered money, thousands of dollars to do harm to Hales too. There's a lot of talk about that. And there's talk about another thing, which again, I'm sure will be fleshed out more Sunday should be a real banger to keep up with. I definitely want to hear how that goes. But on top of that, there's discussion about thousands of dollars being utilized for somebody to potentially go and beat Hales up, harm him, and then thousands more, like I said, for worse. So the first thing that would be pointed to would be somebody with big pockets, and I imagine the frustration of seeing all these things that these people have done. I think they've been emboldened by it because they thought they had a gigantic payday. They've talked about, here's the thing with these weirdos in the ecosystem. They've talked about polyflop and they've talked about all this other BS, but do you really think they would have done all of this stuff for free? Do you think without some kind of riding money? When they talk about content and they talk about money, remember, they do everything they discuss. It seems to reflect back on them. Look at anything they allege about someone else. And you're like, man, isn't that what they've done? It's like this crazy direct gaslighting. We're like, no, that's what they're doing right there. But they're like, no, that person's doing it. Well, they're doing the same thing, it looks like, with money and everything else. So I would think the annoyance would definitely be like, my God, these people were emboldened by tens of thousands of dollars, which wasn't meant for them, but they kept. And beyond that, like this specific person, this is alleged about, this specific person was wallowing in cash for that. So I could see being annoyed with that. I very much could understand it, just, it's nuts. I'm not pointing at anyone and saying that they fueled or did anything either. I want to be clear about that. I am saying though that the anti-Hales people, they had a minimum, they had 100,000 plus reasons to keep aiming at these people. Because why would they do it for free? But yeah, trying to talk a guy into slashing 4 tires for $700. It's unreal. I'm not going to throw my freedom away for $700 freaking dollars, dude. I'm not throwing my freedom away for anything, just to make that clear. But I don't know of, So then they're like, well, there's only 7 units. So I don't know. So I guess the conversation is, do you have enough time to do it? With 100 people plus. And again, maybe they told him, see, he's having a problem with the 100 people thing here. You know, he's doubting that number. And maybe this person just threw in 100 people. Maybe there were 100 people there. Or maybe, you know, the person that's throwing this out there, maybe they're right. Maybe there weren't 100 people. Maybe that's just something you tell somebody when they're telling you to do something terrible. You know, I would hate to think that this is like a person that wants to learn about selling or wants to sell stuff or more. You know, they're wanting to learn about it and wanting to make a little bit of money. And in the setup for this is what they're being told. Yeah, you want to do something with me. You want to do this. Well, I got you some real money, gang. I hate that, by the way. I put it in songs laughing about it, like riding in the whip and all of that, man. But I run into very few people that think that they're they sound awesome and cool, dropping the yeah gang. Oh my God. But that does sound like, I mean, again, they got the language right here. So you be the judge. But also, again, they're like, you know, there's only 7 units, so I don't know. I can't believe 100 people showed up for 7 units. Again, maybe 100 people did show up for 7 units. Or maybe this person that they're talking to is smart enough to know that $700, maybe they're trying not to burn, you know, if a person puts you in a weird situation, walking away, sometimes, you ever been in a situation where you kind of need a relationship with somebody? You feel like you do. You know, it's beneficial not to burn it. It's beneficial to be on good terms with the person. So you don't want to be like, yeah, I can't be around this. I can't do that. But at the same time, you're like, I don't want any of that at all. Because I think there's been a lot of people in the ecosystem that have been like that too. I think that's why we've seen co-hosts walk away. I think that's why we've seen certain people. Actually, you know what? I know that's why certain people walked away from certain things. You know, like people like Slug, for example. You know, Slug woke up one day and was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." You know, yeah, I've been saying some pretty horrible things and I've been involved with some stuff here, but there's a guy that's telling me that I won't be sued for it and I won't take on any liability. And yet, so, you know, you can kind of understand why, again, somebody might feed them something that, I don't know. It's just, it's all crazy. I can't believe these people and the way that they do act, you know, whether or not again, we will get more verification on this, but regardless, for me to sit here and be like, this really does strike me as something that works out. Yeah, you know, the other night, I'll be on this in a second, but the other night, these idiots, they were taking aim yet again at myself and Megan Fox, but not at us, at people around us. They were taking aim at Megan Fox's husband. They were making threats about, pretty much, you could tell there was the not so subtle implication that they were saying, oh yeah, we'll target them. You know, hoping that, again, they hope that people will back off. But then they started bringing up kids again. Now, some of that was bad enough that it looks like they may have tried to remove some of it. But some of it got recorded out of that too. But yeah, they're bringing up her kids and everything else because these people are gross. And they will target the people around you. So for them to have allegations about wanting to slash tires of someone like George to do harm, you know, to make her worry and fret. They also, you notice all these people, they don't respect the women in this. It blows my mind. They don't respect strong, independent, pretty women. They don't. I think all those things offend them, and they all they seem to target them. You know, they love to target that. And a woman especially, you know, if they have something that they don't, even the women are nasty, but some of these people, man, you can tell they don't seem to like women very well at all. So to see George targeted too, yeah, I could see that. George also is, if you look at the dynamic with Hales and George keeps very good records. You can see that, you know, when she's going through stuff. I mean, she does a good job with it. And props on that, by the way. I always appreciate that with people. I'm obsessive with my record keeping. So, you know, my dad, my stepfather, he was an accountant, and he was an accountant with a very, very big company. And you understand that records, that the numbers, all of that is very important. So I always appreciate that with people like George or Rosalind, you know, Melissa, all these folks that really keep up with that. But let's keep going. So it's like, that's wild AF. Probably 5 when you got there. Okay, so wait, what? Is that it's probably 5 people when you got there? Or 5 storage units? Oh my God, man. You know, another problem I have, I guess I don't fit into culture these days, because when I text, I have a habit of texting entire sentences, including the sentence structure. Let's see. When I text somebody, let me look at a text message from me. Just a note. Let me just check something. You know, I mean, it's funny, unless I've got a problem or something, you know. Yeah. So I was noticing, I told somebody that I would send something, and, you know, instead of texting like this, it was like, I'm not in yet. So I had to send it as a Word file, period. When I get in, I can convert it if you can't. So again, proper sentences. Maybe that's a terrible thing these days. Maybe that's a crime. But my God, I don't know. I like to, you know, and this person, look what he says here. He says, I'm saying he. I actually don't know if it's a he or a she, just to make this clear. So when I say he, I'm not 100% on the sourcing through that. I imagine, though, that again, that will be something. I'm sure, first of all, if this stuff plays out and it's 100%, you know, on that, a person, first of all, I don't know why they would make things up, contact, knowing that the police would get involved. Like, that would be stupid on their part, because they would catch charges anyway. But like they're noting here, you know, not really. If I get caught, the charges will cost me so much more. That's exactly what I'm saying. You'd have to be a moron. Like, these people, they want patsies. $700. God, let me see. Let me check something. I'm just going to ask hypothetically. Let me see if ChatGPT can answer this question. Hey, ChatGPT, if someone slashes another person's 4 tires, what kind of crime are they committing? 2, what kind of bail are we looking at? And 3, let's see. What kind of time might they serve, and for what kind of penalties will be assessed? Because, you know, penalties would be assessed. You know, right off the bat, just paying for 4 tires would be worse than that, you know. I mean, yeah, criminal damage to property, vandalism. Of course, there would be more to that because of the person themselves. You could have stalking charges and more, but just for the criminal damage and the vandalism, 4 tires, typically just for replacement, depending on the type of car it notes, you'd be talking $600 to $1,500. Most states, of course, on top of that, just for the felony off of that, you'd be talking about another $1,000. And it gets even worse if the act was retaliation or intimidation. The victim has a protective order, which I think you can make the argument that all of these people have third-partied in to violate a protective order. And if the suspect has ever had any kind of convictions. Now, as far as bail, the bail level for misdemeanor, and I don't think they would call this a misdemeanor because of all the other stuff that rides with it. But if it were a misdemeanor, they know that it could be anywhere from $500 to $2,500. For felony, it could go $5,000 to $25,000 plus. So right there, for felony, paying 10%, heck, for the lowest, if we're just $500, okay, but you talking $25,000, bam, there goes your money, there goes everything. Then on top of it, bail can go even higher if the defendant has a history of violence. Again, there's protective order they want to take in, or if this looks like stalking or retaliation. If it does, then a judge can take it instead of bail. Oh, $50,000, $150,000. It could go to an insane level. Now, time-wise, if you're talking about felony criminal damage for this, you could potentially end up with 1 to 3 years in a state prison. That would be a standard thing just for that charge, not escalating it to 5+ years if you have enhancements like we've been talking about. And realistically, though, if this person was a first timer, let's say that they had never done anything at all, they would even then potentially get short jail time. They could still end up with months in jail. Restitution, they're going to have to pay all of that, plus any kind of court costs. They're going to end up with probation and everything else. And with penalties, I mean, think about penalties on this too. Again, they get $700. I'm telling at this point here because there's a lot of people that are getting mixed up with a lot of weirdos, and they're not thinking this shit through at all. It's not a game when you start engaging. I mean, these people are crossing over into real life, and we have seen them cross over into real life. They've made threats in real life. We've seen people go to the places that these folks live, follow them around, recording. I mean, it's wild shit. But as far as full restitution, you got to pay for the tires, the towing, repair shop fees, court costs. Restitution by itself can be in the thousands. And then on top of it, you get criminal fines. Criminal fines for, if you accept a felony, you could be talking 1 to 10K plus. So again, they want you to, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more. But the whole point in that is they're like, yeah, $700, gang. Ain't a big deal. Oh my God. Yeah, that's true too. Jeremy in a truck, yeah. that'd be some expensive tires too. I mean, you guys are right on that too. When you get into the bigger vehicles and bigger tires, boy, they get expensive. Ooh, I hear you. I had to replace. I had that Armada tire. Oh God. So the person anyway tells them, yeah, I don't want to catch a charge. That's going to cost a lot of money if I catch a charge. And then they're like, yeah, all the YouTubers are here. So as far as, as far as that, the other thing that you're being told in that, it's not just, yeah, these people are around, but what do YouTubers bring with them? What's the one thing that you can count on with YouTubers that they're going to have at an auction? They're going to have cameras. So there's no way this person would have gotten away with it. There is no way. And again, maybe that's legit too. Or maybe it's this person trying to come up with a reason to tell this idiot, hey, I'm not going to do that for you. Either way, I 100% commend going with that. Exactly, Christine. Cameras. Yes, always. All of you, you're like, cameras. They have cameras around. Yes, 100%. There'll be cameras. And on top of it, more and more of these places too, if there are people filming there for liability purposes, they also install cameras, or they will bring cameras for an event. If you've got a lot of people that are popping in for an event, there's going to be bidding and stuff. And then there's the question of, they may allege something happened because drama sells. Well, you want your own tape for liability. You don't want to just depend on the fact that somebody could come in and cause you problems. So the place itself may well have cameras. Even if they don't typically have cameras, they could have them too. So again, this person would have gotten busted. There's no question about it. They don't want to take on that wire, but you can see it. You can see they're trying to talk it out of there. Then it's like, how would they prove it though? I don't know. I don't want to convince you too much. So you spent this whole freaking thread trying to talk a person into doing something bad. But I don't know. I don't really want to have to try to convince you too much. Basically, you should want to hop on that grenade for me. And that's really how that reads to me. Don't you want to do this favor for me? Don't you want to help me out here? Don't you want to get back at that mean old waffle, Mr. Hales? He's such a dirty, dirty rascal. I mean, come on, man. But how would they prove it? Are you kidding me? Well, you know what this makes me wonder too? If this stuff ends up being legit, how many other things have happened to other people? Maybe not just Hales, but other people too, that they've gotten away with. Most people, when they act this calm about it and secure in it, this usually isn't their first rodeo. Yeah, actually, William notes something about texting that I've heard too. I think it's straight. He says, the texting thing's funny. My nephew thought I was mad because I put a period at the end of the sentence. I think that's something weird societally that people have started adopting because they're just, I don't know. It's a laziness that's coming in. I'm not talking about your nephew. I think people have been told that. I saw a show where they were talking about that, and I saw news reports, and I think they just hammered this idea home, and people are like, oh, and they go along with it. Like for me, I don't like there to be confusion in what I'm saying. See, there's a couple of things that are stated in this that I'm going to say that you could misread. I don't like. Now, I may text somebody and have like Megan laughs at me because, when we're preparing for shows and stuff, some of my texts look like they've been put in a blender. But that's because I'll text on the go or whatever, and I don't care. I know she can translate it, but I still will have proper punctuation and everything in it. Jack's mom notes too. That what a horrible thing to ask from a friend. Well, this tells you these people, what you learn is they don't have friends. They have either accomplices or useless idiots, that will that they consider useful. I call them useless idiots because they're useless to everyone else, but they're useful to them. That's how they perceive it, They're disposable morons, people that'll go out and they'll do something terrible for them. But, that's a real sad reality there. Oh my God, man. This stuff it frightens me Because there's a lot of people out there that, quite honestly, they might do this. And it's a scary proposition. Props to a person, again, I'll say this over and over again, alleged. I'm not going to be like the Fats and be like, again, I trust the person that has pulled this up. I know it went to the police 100%. It's just that I don't know every person in the line through this. So I will go with alleged because I think that's the smart thing to do. I'll show you 100%. Like, you know, the first thing I wanted to know when I saw this come up is I 100% reached out and I was like, what is this about? You know, is there more context? Because there were people saying, you know, where are you pulling this from? There's not enough here. And just the statements that Hale's made in the short alone, the reason that he didn't put everything in there, by the way, is because he hadn't gone to the police yet. He's finding out about it. And what you call them out, you know why Hale's puts everything up? They call it doing polyflop to you know, to make money. And I'll say the reason that he puts things up is because it shines light on these folks and says, I know what you're doing. Stop it. You know, you're not operating behind things. And the people that you think are going to keep your secrets, they will expose you. And I think that's important too. Let's continue. I don't want to convince you too much. Now, this person is like, cameras, they have all over the place. And I mean, again, that comes with the YouTubers. That comes with the place itself. Plus, again, this person doesn't want to go to jail. They've already told moron here, I don't want to get caught because I don't want to have to pay out all that money. You know, and this idiot is still trying to convince them. And again, that goes both ways. Do you think, like, here's the thing, again, if these things turn out to be 100% legit, do you think, and I'm talking to the person that would send these, do you think that the person here, they did you a disservice by noting this? Or do you think they did you a service by noting this? Because I'll tell you what, if they would have gone through and tried to carry this out and did it, they would have gotten caught. And guess who would have been in trouble with them? You. Because 100% they would flip on you, and they should. Because you told them to do something very, very stupid. And why should they have loyalty to somebody that would sacrifice them? God, man. It's so dumb, man. It's so dumb. Yeah, then fuck that, he says, you know. So he's like, oh, there's cameras. Oh, but wait, not cameras. Yep, screw that then. Oh, okay. All right. So all the people that would be around, all the YouTubers with cameras, that wouldn't be a problem. God, what an idiot. Yeah, it's hard here. He's like, oh, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I appreciate you telling me. I would have drove if I had enough time. Now, I think you're a fucking coward. Is what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is a fucking coward, a poser that wants to pretend like he's a man. You know, he wants to get other people to do his dirty work. By the way, for me, you know, a loser like this, they wouldn't step to me either because I'm strapped. I'm just straight up. Am I a physical specimen? Hell no. You know, but that's why I'm strapped, because I don't deal with idiots. I straight up don't. But this is some cowardly bullshit. It's not this person is not man enough to carry through. You know, they talk about they would do this or that or the other. No, from what I'm hearing, they got to get somebody else to step in and do it. They can't do it themselves. What a coward. So many of them. I thought we were going to see trial by combat from another one of them too. I noticed they never dropped any kind of filing asking for that like they said they would. What clowns, man. What absolute clowns. But yeah, I appreciate it. I would have drove out there. I'd have done my own dirty work. Hey, let me know if you want to send a message at all in any way. Okay. And then that's where they end. But again, so this whole thread here is about, if you look at that, and that's not enough to convince you that they were trying to, get some terrible thing done. Again, all in context, just to go through it fast. That way you can catch it all. All right. You see discussion about items, right? And then you get a, hey, call me ASAP. You won't believe who's at the live auction. It's What the Hells. Where you at? Where are you? Mountain Sterling? Yeah. Well, I'll pay you good money. Is the auction still going? There's like 6 YouTubers here. Yeah, it's still going. It's so far. It's 2 hours away. I won't make it. I'll pay you some bread. Then again, there's a little wagon wheel. That's what that is. It's a little wagon wheel with spokes. There's a little vehicle right there. And then it says, or anything. And then you have for what? And then the response there is tires, damage, anything. I won't make it there in time. It's 2 hours away. The more, the better. Then you have dollar signs. You're there for profit. Who's with you? And the person is like, I don't know. It's risky. There's over 100 people here. The reply, what? Damn. And then they're told, yeah. And everyone knows me. I can't. And they're told, well, you can leave early. I mean, think about it. I'll give you $700. Then you have a little smiley face with a cowboy hat on, and it says, LOL, get right. And then up to you, though, gang. It says, if not, call me after. They get a response there, and they're like, it says, what I got to do? Stab his tire? The reply there is all 4. The person says, damn, that's risky as fuck. The reply to that is, got to leave the auction early before everyone walks to the whip. You may think people know you, but bro, you're not a YouTuber. I don't think anyone will notice you leave early, but it's up to you. You're there, I'm not, so I don't know how it looks. The reply there is okay. Then the response after that, $700 is enough to make that risk. Though, gang, I'ma be real. I'ma be real. There's only 7 units. So I don't know. I can't believe 100 people showed up for 7 units. That's wild AF. Probably 5 when you got there. The reply there is, not really. If you get caught, the charges will cost me so much more. Yeah, all the YouTubers are here. Then the response to that is, how would they prove it? I don't know. I don't want to convince you too much. Then the response to that is cameras. They have cameras all over the place. The response to that is, yeah, then fuck that. Yeah, it's hard here. That's the response. Then the reply, it's all good, bro. I tell you, or rather, I appreciate you telling me. I'll get it right in a minute. I would drove if I had enough time. Reply there is okay. And then you let me know if you want to send a message at all in any way. The reply to that is okay. And it ends with that. So again, you have this exchange. I'm going to say it's pretty straightforward. You can tell that ain't about baking freaking biscuits together. We're not talking about good deeds. We're talking about doing something pretty duplicitous, I think that's pretty spelled out there. What a bunch of weirdness, though. How to get the texting messages? Somebody would I'm going to say one party sent them. I'm going to guess. That's would be how that would go, The party. See, here's the thing. What's going to happen over time is if this person is trying to recruit other people to do damage like that, then they're going to get caught. And when they get caught, they're going to bring down everybody with them. the people that they're asking to do harm with, they're going to bring them down too. So yeah, I'm sure that they would definitely, they would do that. Yeah. What a bunch of weirdos though. I swear, you know. Ugh, gross, man. All right, so I thought you would all want to see this wonderful stuff. Now, again, every day there are certain things I want to cover. Like, again, there are Dave documents that are still out there. Him trying to respond to everything, his excuses for why stuff should or shouldn't happen. I haven't even, on today, I haven't even looked up, let me see. I haven't even looked up. Let me just check and see if anything weird was posted on Facebook. let me check the certain account and see if they've had anything to say today. I don't see anything new. Nope. They've actually been quiet for a few days. It's kind of weird. Lynette, are things going bad for you? I wonder if things are going bad or something. You know, usually when it gets quiet over there, there's something bad going on. So I'm wondering if something bad has happened, you know, something in one of the cases, or they did write the bankruptcy, by the way. Hey, 1 second. Let me pull this up. I thought this was funny. All right. There is one other thing I want to add today, too. I thought this was really funny. The Jeremy Hales thing is crazy there, though. Like all of that. I mean, it's just, I can't, I can believe it, but at the same time, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But there's this wonderful document that is now popped up, and I kind of love it because it's such a mess in its own way. All right, so this is a document 100 and what is that? 74. Yeah, 100. This is document 174. By the way, if you've missed out on it, somebody drop a link for me, please, if you would. Max Lab's channel is up. It's moving along. He's getting close to his 1,000 subscribers. We've mentioned it a few times, and it's moving. He's about at 3/4 of the way there. So he's trucking along. Yeah. If you would give him a if you would give him a sub, he posts documents as they come, which is good. You know, him being able to drop them out there and do it his way, it'll be good for him. That way, you know, again, he can build something for himself too. That's a smart way to do it, folks. You know, when you're doing something, when you're looking over something there, why not? You should. I think so. I think it's smart to open up. But you see, it came up yesterday. So this was filed by Preston. Although weirdly enough here, look at this signature. Michelle, this is yet another weird signature. That's like I don't know how many signatures you have on file so far, but here's yet another one that's that doesn't match up with the rest. And this right here, this is okay. Here's a question. Just looking at this, this is Fed case, right? You can look at that. Now, from you folks, tell me something. Who is the plaintiff in this case? Just curious. Like, who brought the case? Who would be the plaintiff? If you were going to file something, who would you, like, if you were filing something as Michelle Preston, who would you be in this case? Would you be the plaintiff or would you be the defendant? Because Jeremy Hale's on the top there. Remember, plaintiff's on the top, right? Michelle is the defendant. Okay. So with her filing here, right off the bat, comes now the plaintiff, Michelle Preston. You know, Michelle, if you're using something that is a boilerplate, if you have somebody that has given you basically generic cookie cutter things to put in, you know, the headers and different things, and they tell you to change up things. Watch for these kind of things. You know, I figure that's probably what you're doing. You're probably taking something. You either have someone that's writing these up for you, and at certain points, I think also that you're probably doing fill in the blanks, you know, and they're telling you what to write with stuff as well, depending. I get the feeling, I wonder sometimes too. I wonder if there's more than one lawyer that's been telling you what and where to do. And specific lawyer, like lawyer A, let's just say, they may ghostwrite things for you, you know, write them all. And lawyer B may just tell you what to write. I'm not sure. I mean, who knows? And you also, I mean, you have some incompetent people around you too. So maybe they don't even know what case you're involved in. But here we have her basically notifying the court and other parties. She's talking about the plaintiff Michelle Preston filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy petition seeking relief under Title 12 in Gainsborough. The case number is blah, blah, blah. The case was filed on July 3rd. Wait, when was this restarted? What was the date of the case when it was kicked back in? Because I'm getting a weird feeling about some of these dates. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the way that stuff came up. This action is subject to the automatic bankruptcy stay imposed by 11 U.S.C. 362. This is for informational purposes. In October. Okay. So I was like, wait a minute. Am I going crazy? All right. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to tell you. That's so funny, though. I'm also going to attach the link here. Give me a second. I'm going to put it at the top of the, well, if I can get my freaking phone to do it for me. There we go. Pin the message. Okay, so Max Labs YouTube is at 785. Actually, it's been moving along. You know, it's been mentioned. A few other people have been mentioning it too. It's been humming. Actually, you're moving along really well. You know, for myself, it took a hot minute to get to 1,000. So you're moving along quite well with this. But Max Lab is at 785 subscribers. If you would, there's at the very top of the chat, there is a link. That link is to Max Lab's channel. Again, he's been posting documents there. You can check out his content with them. You know, he's got that being read on there too. So you can just go through. You can look at the documents for themselves. That way you have the ability. One of the things I really would ask you to do is to read a document yourself, but also, you know, come and check them out. But you always have them at hand if you want to check them out on your own, read them through. That is important. You should have the ability to, and you do have the ability to on the docket anyway, but sometimes documents cost money. And also on that, they cost time. And sometimes people are like, well, we'll go through them while we'll read. But I want you to have the ability to look them up simply and easily. And this makes it very simple for you to find a document and to keep up with it. One of the things to Max Lab, I like the idea of what you're doing here. What you should do is on these, you should post in like a playlist so you can find them. You know, you can, if you put a playlist for Fed 1, and a playlist for Fed 2, you know, you in bankruptcy, you could drop them into each one right after. Making a playlist is very simple. And that way, if somebody wants to go through and they want to find stuff, if you note what document it is, at least at the end of your title, you know, you have your title or whatever, but then you put in number one, like with this one, you know, you put in the document, 174. They'll know if they've seen it or not. And that'll help out too. I think it's a great idea, though. So again, check out Max Labs setup. Like I said, I think that's a great one. But you can see here, again, they wrote in, they dropped this in. They were a busy little bee. What does this matter? Well, again, they were a busy little bee the other day. They were writing courts. They were dropping all this stuff in. Suggestion of bankruptcy. That's the document title. Suggestion of bankruptcy. Hey, what's up? There's a bankruptcy. Ever heard of a bankruptcy? Would you like to hear about bankruptcy? Anyway, let's go to Super Chats. No, so dumb. Fallen Hero, man. Thank you, brother. Let's see you there. Thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you for being here too, my friend. I much appreciate you, as always, too. Thank you. Emma drops that lurk attacks. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for the lurk attacks, baby. Love it. Thank you. Jada, thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you, Jada. That is amazing and much appreciated. Max Lab, thank you for 6 months, dude. No statement there, but that is a statement by itself. Thanks for what you do. Again, glad that your channel's been growing for you, too. Good stuff, man. And over time, what's beautiful about it, over time, you'll figure out how you want to do stuff, how you want to set up thumbnails. Thumbnails can be done very easily, by the way, Max Lab. You can do them either with, you could even have ChatGPT help you with it if you need to. But I use you can look this up. It's very simple to find. I put this on my phone. I make them with my phone. I don't even put any time into them very much. But there's a program called Thumbnail Maker. I know it's amazing. Thumbnail Maker. It's pretty high rated. You can find it. You can use a free version of it. It's there. Or I think it costs a few bucks to unlock it for the rest of your life. So, but I make most of mine with it. Now, some people want to go more money. That is your prerogative. But you could do that very simply, man. I like that. Really cool stuff. I love your freaking avatar. That is amazing too. 10 months too, baby. That's awesome. Thank you, my friend. Georgie, what's up? Thanks for the 2 there. Hey, Tugglesworth, keep being awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Keep infuriating the toads. They're over there croaking. They get mad. God, the other night, look at that. I haven't even gone over that one, but the other night was nuts. That Thursday night madness, where again they're throwing fits about Megan. I mean, really, 30+ times, just on easy search. God knows how many times they actually brought her up. Just so crazy there. But thank you. You make them so mad. You folks do. It kind of cracks me up. Rachel, thanks for the 5 there. All I can say is thank goodness it's Ohio, not Florida dealing with this. I was worried this would happen. Yeah, it's a lot better if Ohio deals with it for sure. It's not Levy County dealing with it. Levy County, I mean, I keep thinking, man, what I guess this is terrible to think, but I kept thinking Levy County is going to let things go to the point where something terrible can happen. If Jeremy ever has to defend himself, then Levy County, they would treat him probably like the criminal and not the person who did terrible things. That's how they are. I just worry about that. So I'm glad that this is listed with Ohio. I know Hales is he's careful. He's had to change up a lot of what he does in life. And I'm not talking about routines like how you do business, but I'm talking about just trust-wise. He's careful about being out, doing things, stays on his guard. That's a crazy way to live, man. It's a crazy way to live. B-Bear and M-Bear, thank you for the 2. They're lurking while packing. Love you all. Well, hey, love to you too. And, appreciate you being here. Pack away, man. Pack away. Appreciate it. Yeah, I saw that Faith and Love. And again, apologies. Like I said, the thing was, the way it's set up was it isn't screenshots. it's set up in a video, and that's just the way it came. I set it, I loaded it, you know, if I would have had time, I would have screenshot it all to pieces, but just on a, you know, on a Saturday, like a normal day, I would probably have time to do that. But on like a Saturday, I just didn't have time, you know? So I kept it in its, well, I can't say there was at the very beginning, there was a little more proof too, I'm going to say. There was the name of the person, which you did see, but they also had their phone number attached to it as well. So I cut the very beginning off of that thing. When I got it, it had a phone number and everything else. And I cut that off because unlike some of these people, I try not to throw around information like that, you know? Like these people wouldn't mind. They throw your phone number out there in a heartbeat, but I cut theirs off. Natalie, thanks for the 20 there. You sound really tired. Thanks for what you do. It's just been a long day. I am a little exhausted. I had doctor's appointments yesterday. I had a full day yesterday. It was exhausting. And, you know, on that stuff does wear you down a little bit. So I'm here though. I'm good. And by the end of the stream, I feel a little better. I am tired from doing everything. I've been enjoying it. It's funny too. So today, I told y'all yesterday, I got a little banded king snake, little tiny guy. You know, well, they're tiny, but they're pretty docile. Now you can get some that they're not. They've been through terrible things, you know. But by and large, most of them are pretty docile. Now the one I've got is the most docile one I've ever seen. Like it just doesn't care. It likes to be held. It was abandoned though. Somebody had skipped out on their apartment. They left all their pets behind. And in addition to like dogs and cats, which they abandoned, they also abandoned that little guy. And he managed to survive in his tank, even though they didn't give him food or water. And the place there, they picked him up. They kept him in isolation for, you know, a few weeks, make sure there's nothing wrong with them, make sure that they feed them, make sure they get back to it. But this little guy, he's just happy to be around something, happy to be fed, you know. And like I said, it's the most docile, curious little guy ever. So I gave him plenty of stuff to dig in. You know, they like to dig in that a little substrate, you know, like snake bedding is what they call it. They like to dig down into it. So I gave him plenty of snake bedding, gave him a couple of places to hide in, some nice heat. He also managed to live without heat, which is crazy. Abandoned. It's so mean, you know. I get if a person's got to leave things behind, at least take your pets somewhere. Don't just leave them, you know, lock them in a room. And you know, because a lot of times when a place is cleaning them out, they'll throw them away. I've seen that, especially with animals that are in cages. They'll throw them in the trash. You know, much like Petco. Sometimes Petco, the Petco here, I'm not saying every Petco, but like the Petco here, they throw away like live spiders. I actually got a live spider they're going to throw away. They didn't feed it correctly up at a Petco in Cookeville, Tennessee. They had like a little cobalt, not a cobalt blue, a green bottle blue. That's it. They were going to throw it away. And I was like, man, that thing's still alive. You know. So of course their answer was, oh yeah, well, we'll sell it to you. I was like, but you're going to throw it in the trash. It was in your trash. I ended up buying it from them for, I don't remember, $15, I think, you know, which, yeah, I still have it, but I appreciate the note, Natalie. Yeah, I've been tired, but the crazy doesn't stop either. You know, when you're tired, like this is the thing I've noticed with them. I would rather also be doing this and do it every single day for a few hours and have fun and hang out with you guys than to do anything else, you know? Hang out with the family and kids, and as a job, boy, this is not really work. So I always appreciate that. Tinsel, drop that hundo. Thank you there. I'll give you a hundo just for showing the stupidity. Thank you. Non-violent. You gotta love the stupid people for entertainment. Indeed. You know, I'm glad with this that the person that was allegedly I'm going to say that they tried to drag in as a conspirator, because I don't want to call them a conspirator. If they're turning it over, they're bothered by it. They weren't conspiring. And, you know, sometimes when you're talking to somebody, again, you're trying not to burn that bridge. You're like, how do I go about this? But the person there, they thankfully looked at that and they thought, this is a dumb idea. It's a very dumb idea. And beyond that, I think anybody that looks at this is what you get with dealing with the ecosystem. Don't let them pull you into something stupid. You know, if they've been trying to bait you into something, if any of these people have been, reach out. Now, I am easy to find. You can find me on Twitter if you need, at ThATUMBRELLA. You can find me on Facebook, TADGUY, TADGUY. Or you can email me. Emailing me is probably the easiest way for me to see something. You can email me at 2 words, very simple to remember. Granular, like a grain of sand, GRANULAR. Heaven, HEAVEN, @gmail.com. Why that name, I don't remember. It's been years. It's just the one that opened this thing up. But those 2 words stuck together as a Gmail. Granularheaven@gmail.com. So just slap them together, write me. I'm very curious. I'd love to see what all's out there. Now, AKA the Cat Lady asked, thanks for the 5, could only me be pulled into a conspiracy for funding? Well, it depends on what it would be. You know, just for giving money for channels and stuff, no. You know, and again, he wouldn't be responsible for something like that. Now, if there were communications or anything, and again, I'm not alleging that there are in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if there was anything like that, then yes, that would be a problem. If there had been any type of that. I think, like again, I would hope that anybody that sees this kind of stuff, though, it gives you a pause. Again, people can look at this and they can be like, I hate that guy over there. I hate that Jeremy Hales. Fine. Hate him as much as you want. But when people are talking about, I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to slash his tires. Again, if any kind of discussion like that is coming up or beyond that, I mean, we've seen doxing. We've seen threats. Like, how much do you need? You know, and these people, they've been on a victim narrative lately. Oh, I'm so you know, because they're being called out for their nonsense. But look at everything they've done. At a certain point, why would you want to back them? Wanda, thanks for the 10 there. Hey, Todd, do you really think these idiots will ever get tired? No, they will not. Many of them, I think there's consequences. Some of them will walk away. But some of them, I wonder even with that. I think you have to hold a flashlight to a lot of their deeds. And you have to keep them from being able to operate in the dark. You know, you have to be careful too. Because some of the things that these people do that we've seen, they've made real threats. They said they're going to do bad things. And some of these people are bad people. They are. Their records. There's a couple that their records would speak for them. There's one specifically whose record really speaks for them. But another one, again, when you have a couple of fraudsters like that, when fraudsters start to congregate, that should be a warning sign. And, yeah, man. But no, I don't think they'll get tired because they are they're profiteering off of it. They get something from it. And again, if they're covering something, I don't blame a person for cover. I cover something, you know. I'm not I'm not doing it just for, I do it because I think it's important, but I also do this as work. So I don't blame a person for doing that. What I blame them for is what their actions are while they're doing it, because they do some horrible stuff, man. I have never seen so much insanity from a group of people. They're going to end up putting their idiot butts in jail if they're not careful. I mean, again, if this right here, if this gets verified and police don't do anything about it, that would be very upsetting. Jack's mom, what's up? Thank you for that gifted membership there. Thank you, Jack's mom. That is awesome and much appreciated. Thank you. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Thanks for the 3 months there. Love that. Just think about the number of cameras, a storage unit. Yeah, indeed. These places, have you ever been to one of these storage unit facilities? Like especially modern ones? My God. You know, I've been to some old dilapidated places that they still had cameras. But man, some of these modern ones, God, they have just innumerable cameras. I had to pick up a storage unit about a year ago. I needed it for some stuff going on. I had to pay for it. Then I went and looked. It was a storage unit pretty close to where I'm at, and it's decent. I mean, the units themselves are nice, but the the ground is still gravel and blah blah blah. But anyway, even that place had dozens of cameras, and some of them were really well concealed. Like when you walk around, I asked them about it. I was like, how do we guarantee stuff's safe? And they were talking about all the cameras. They had some of the ones they had concealed. They showed me a few, not all of them, but they showed me a few, and I was pretty impressed. So yeah, to ask somebody to do something like this would be nuts. You're right. William, thanks for the fun there. The texting thing is funny. Yeah, my nephew thought, this is the one about the period thing, was mad because I put a period at the end of a sentence. Apparently punctuation is aggressive now. There's an article that was written on that. And I even saw this get into some show. I can't remember, like a sitcom or something. They were talking, it was in King of the Hill. The new King of the Hill had a thing about it. I was like, are you kidding me? Because again, I like to be able to make a point. Now, if I know somebody really well, like I said, if I text somebody like Megan, for example, some of you would be like, holy God, what does that say? It's funny, like, she does a pretty good job of deciphering what I write too. Because somebody looks like gibberish, because I just don't care if it's typoed or it does word judge. I just don't care. If I'm not too afraid, they can usually make it out. And if they can't, oh well. But most people, yeah. And I want to, even then with gibberish, I still use punctuation. It's amazing, isn't it? Jack's mom, thanks 5. What a horrible thing to ask a friend. It's total disregard for their life and well-being. I wonder about blowback for them for turning this over. Yeah, it puts them between a rock and a hard place. I mean, ultimately, I would be afraid that this person would get caught and there would be text messages. Like if this, again, assuming it's all verified, and again, with the authorities involved, we'll see what happens. But with this, no matter the blowback, first of all, I would be afraid that they're going to ask other people. If they're asking me, they're asking other people. And again, there's rumor of other stuff going on too. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure, like I said, some of that will be discussed. But yeah, you're not their friend. When somebody asks you to do something terrible like that, you aren't a friend. You aren't a friend at all. You are a tool, a device for them. And they don't care if you get harmed in the process of whatever's happening. That just disregard for you, for your safety, for your freedom, that's just plenty. It's awful. James, thanks for the 2 there. Double tap your space bar, get a free period. There you go. There you go. Shizzy still needs 600 subs. We need to do another sub grab for Shizzy then. We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. Suzanne, thanks for the gifted membership. Thank you, Suzanne. I very much appreciate you. Thank you for that. A Max Lab, by the way, is 90 subscribers away from 1,000. Just to say, 90 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to Max Lab, again, very top of the chat, all you got to do is click the link, click subscribe, and you can check things out there. You know, but that definitely, you know, that first 1,000 is hard to come by. It's part of monetization too. You know, that way when he's putting up shorts or videos about stuff, he'll be able to you know, pick up money, and that'll help pick up more documents or whatever. You know, that's the best way to go. So if you want to help him out there, you should, by the way, just click over, subscribe, easy peasy. You know, Suzanne, though, thank you. Appreciate that. Love your little avatar. That's so cute, man. Wanda, what's up? Thank you for that gifted membership. You rock your Muppet very well. Many of you do. I like them. They're awesome. Becky's Muppet looks like somebody you want to hang out with. What's up, Becky? Love it. Thank you for the vibe there. The worst part often is that most of the ecosystem wets friends. Are you talking about like gets rid of them, wants friends? I'm not sure what the word on there. They throw them away. I'll say this: some of them they don't appreciate friends and they throw them away. If that's what you mean, you know. They discard people. You notice a lot of the ecosystem is it's a one-sided relationship. Yeah, these folks, they aren't friends. They throw each other away very quickly sometimes. You know, you see, that's one of the things that also strikes me with a lot of people coverage. Again, you're just going to run into YouTubers and stuff, and YouTubers covering the same topic does not mean they're friends, by the way. But some of these people, you know, the things they've done, situation they've involved in, you would think that they would at least get along, you know, to benefit themselves, and also talk each other out of doing really, you know, criminal stuff. Maybe keep the criminality at the zero while you're getting sued. But, I don't know. Definitely, the slashing tires and stuff definitely doesn't look good for these people while you're talking about protective orders and stuff, right? That really does not look good. Shirley Gold, by the way, like that. You know, I always wanted like a cool last name. You know, I've got a my name is pretty generic. I've got again, I don't dislike it or anything, but I have a biblical first name, Mathin. You're like, where was Mathin in the Bible? My middle name is named after relative, and then, you know, last name generic. So wish I had like I thought about changing it, getting a boss name. I told my eldest daughter if she would have been born a boy, that her name would have definitely had Tiberius in it. You know, for William Shatner or Captain Kirk. I was going to name her Tiberius. Just like, no. I think it would have been an awesome day there. Anyway, sure. Thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate that. Appreciate the name too. I like it. Strong name. As if, thanks for the vibe there. Can I redirect to Runkle? He's doing 24. I actually, Saturdays, I redirect to Yellow Flash. I appreciate the request. The only thing with that is for Flash, like, you know, it's a Saturday thing. I don't know. It's something that I feel like I don't have to do, I suppose, but like it's a bunch of people that are friends that I've already told them today I would too. You know, if I would have known that was coming up, I would have asked them about it. But it's, you know, I'll say this: if you want to go over with Runkle, they're doing, what are they doing? A 24-hour Extra Life fundraiser for Children's Hospital. His goal is 100Ks at 75. That's awesome, by the way. You know, so if you want to go and participate, hang out with that, definitely do. You know, it's just like I said, for those guys, I do that every Saturday. I already set it up too, because just to be honest, like the reason I do that beyond liking people is that when I've had any problem that has ever crossed my path, Yellow Flash and the guys over there, they always had my back, to the point that it's not a, yeah, we support you or whatever. I'm talking about people that would throw down in war for you. You know, they wipe tread in the face of somebody if they came in. So for that, you know, I they're friends. So I always support their endeavor on Saturday. You know. But yeah, I appreciate you too. Emma, thanks for the 2. Big love for the mods today. Well, thank you. Yes, mods, appreciate you and love to you always, of course. And Emma also asked that the girls give it a name to the snake. I keep telling them I'm going to name it Bert. They're like, Bert? That's the most basic name ever. You know, like it's a fine person name. They're like, that's a fine boy name, but that's not a fine snake name. I was like, all right, can't name it that. Can't name it Bert. They were so bad about that though. No, Bert. Man, Maxlab is quite literally 50 subscribers away. So again, 50 subscribers to 1,000. That 1,000 mark again is the monetization mark for subscribers in, and then he'll have to meet so much watch time. The 1,000 subscribers is hard to meet. So if you want to help out right here, let's do it. You know, like I said, we would get Max Lab there. We get him there. Typically, like this kind of stuff can take months, years sometimes. So let's have it, you know, in a week. That'll be awesome. Max Lab has done a lot in getting documents and helping out people. So yeah, let's hook him up. And thank you, folks. Appreciate it. But Emma, I don't know yet with the thing. Yeah. It'll be curious. They have, so it is funny though. The girls have been getting comfortable with, the littlest one has never held a snake before. And this one, it's like I said, it's so calm. So she was nervous about it, but man, she has loved it. She's like, she's like, I want to sit here with the tank. I want to just watch the snake, you know, after we did it. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to bother. I just want to watch it. And I'm like, okay, you can watch it if you want to. That's fine. But it's been funny to see her with it. I love it. Aussie, thanks for the Aussie Wombat. I almost just said Aussie. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I need the Wombat in there. Thank you for the 8 there. Shizzy needs 600. Well, we'll definitely help Shizzy with that as well. Love Newell. You know, Rhea Raya, man, a birthday song for Rebel. Is it really your birthday, Rebel? Or is it a fake one? I need to know which it is. If it's the real birthday, then we need to have a big birthday blowout. And if it's not, then we need to add in some earned birthday to you. Let's see. We're still going to bust you out some song, though. I don't care if it's real or not. Just to be honest, it's fake. Then we're going to bust some unbirthday in here. Let's do it.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. May all
those dreams come true.
Happy
birthday.
love to have you here. Happy
birthday.
Here's to another year.
That's right, man. sometimes you have to have a merry, very merry unbirthday, you know, for sure. Let's just think about this too. If you had a million unbirthdays, that would be 364 unbirthdays a year, right? That would mean if I said another million on that, then that would mean you would live for what? 2,700 and around 50 years. That's pretty good. That's pretty fair. Very merry unbirthday to you. I love it. MB, thanks for the vibe there. My baby boy Grayson's 22. Oh man, birthday song. Of course, man. 20 freaking 2. It does make you feel old when your kids, as they get older. I've been noticing that. I'm like, oh my God, how are they getting so old? You know, because I'm still the same age, right?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
From
Grayson.
both of us to
From
you.
all of us. Happy birthday. 22 to good
May
year.
all
May
your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to
Here's to many,
another
many
year.
more productive, healthy years. Bam. Love it. I love it. I love it when people have their birthday and love to them. Appreciate it. And yes, it is. It's so great, like watching, you know, as your kids get older. It just make you feel older. Like I said, you're like, man, where's the time go? But at the same time, you're so proud of watching them grow and become who they are. It's beautiful. Rhea Rye, I call the snake ramen. I don't know. Then when the little one's like, because she likes to yell out, I want ramen. There might be some kind of confusion, you know. It is a good name for a snake, though. That is really funny. You see, Andrea. Whoa, man, is that total right, Andrea? By the way, I'm just making sure. Andrea, there is a 1 second. I'm making sure there's about message. There's not a message or anything, but I'm making sure that total is correct there. It is and again, thank you, period. But there's a 250. Whoa, if that is correct, holy moly. And if it's supposed to be a different total, let me know. Okay. I like to note with larger totals just to make sure. Yes, that is awesome there. Very much so. And thank you, by the way. I appreciate you. I appreciate, man, all of you guys have made this amazing. You have, for sure. You know, it's been a crazy ride. Case to case is crazy ride. This case is freaking insane. I'd never thought covering Hales would become what it has been. Andre said yes. Wow, thank you. Again, that is amazing. I appreciate it. It definitely it comes at a good time. There's a lot going on, so it's definitely helpful. And it is like I can't say that enough. Thank you. That is awesome of you. You know, very much so. Man, it has been a crazy week too. You know, somebody asked earlier if I'm tired. It's just been a crazy week. So like I said, I appreciate that. I very much do. You know, it helps out with some of the crazy week. Thank you. Imbilea, thank you for the fun there. I did my exotics presentation in vet assistant collage with a black ball python named Bianca. We call her Bianca Dong. That's funny. Such a sweetie pie, 6 feet long. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, kiddo, what you doing? I was telling them about the snake. You want to tell them about the snake?
Yeah, you can actually hold it.
You can. What do you think about it?
Yeah, but I was a little nervous for the first time holding it.
Of course. You never held one before, right?
Yeah, until today.
Yeah. Was it nice or was it mean?
Nice.
Was it mean at all? Did it do any mean stuff?
No.
It was very nice. It likes to be held, doesn't it?
Yeah, he likes the body. He get tired. And I was seeing it like yawning until today.
Yeah, it opened his mouth. She was like, it's yawning. Yeah.
That's true.
Yep. Yep. It opened the mouth up. Oh, he was yawning.
I guess it is tired.
Yeah. Well, it was dark, so we set it up and get it back to sleep, didn't we?
We have a daylight and a nightlight. If we mix them up, then we don't. The daylight is for the daytime and the nightlight is for the nighttime.
That's right.
If we don't have those lights, he's going to feel if we turn on the wrong one.
Yeah. He can't sleep right, can he? Is he a good little guy?
Yeah.
What do you think is a good name? Yeah, we got to think about it. Somebody said ramen.
Oh, that's a good name. Ramen is my favorite food.
I know, but you might get confused when you're like, get me some ramen. Somebody might get you a snake. Here's a snake. You're like, oh, not that ramen.
Okay. That's not going to be a good name.
That might not be a good name. Have you thought of a good name yet? You're going to think of one tonight, maybe.
Maybe Coke.
What? Coca-Cola.
That's the only I can think of.
That's the only
Coca-Cola.
thing you can think of.
Hey, what?
Somebody said name it DeFloofy.
Oh,
The Floofy snake.
the Floofy snake. What about Floofy?
Somebody said name it Mr. Snuggles.
Because it's actually cute. Because it's actually nice.
Yeah, they could name it Hissy.
Hissy. But he doesn't hiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can name it Nope Rope. I like that. It's funny.
I think when I think of it is the cute name because he's nice. But we'll see some other names if it can get better.
They can name it Oreo since it's black and white.
Yeah, but what if I ask for Oreo someone gives me a steak?
I know. Well, that'd be crazy. You can name it Slinky.
Slinky, no.
Yeah.
But we do have a trampoline. But we need one with the net so we don't fall out. We do need one with the net. You know why? Because I don't want to fall out.
Hey, look, who is that? Who is that, by the way? That's Bloopy Cat. Says hi to you. They said hi.
Hi back.
Hi back. There you go. It's like she even notices the avatar. She knows it. Hey, somebody asked for Max's link. It's at the top of the chat. It's pinned there. So if you,
Pinned there.
yeah, it's pinned there. So Max is 13 subscribers away from 1,000, by the way. So if you're not subscribed, we only need 13 more. And yeah, there you go. 1K. Somebody said name it Slithers.
What's this? He just says that around.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Slithers.
Mr. Slithers because he's a boy. And when I grow up, I have to keep that thing forever.
Surprised we probably end up with the floofy snake the way things go.
Hey.
Yeah. Somebody said name it Cheese String. Maybe we'll call it lip gloss.
Lip gloss. Well, what if I ask for lip gloss and they'll give me a steak?
Well, that'd be good. You'd be like, this ain't working.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you want to, let's see. Oh, there's two more. We said hi to the floofy, of course. And then Max Lab said, hey, maybe we call it Slithers. What do you think?
Slithers is good because
That's
he
a good
does slither around.
Yeah, he does slither around, doesn't he?
We can think of Slithers and what's not anything food because what if I ask for that?
That's true. Slytherin. Oh, man. But anyway, well, you want to tell everybody bye? Because I'm fixing to hang up here.
Bye.
My, you want to thank people for being here today, too? Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to redirect you folks. Go raid. Tell them Tug sent you again. going over to Yellow Flash. If you're going to be offended and stuff easily, not the place for you. But if you want to have fun, cut loose, laugh at all the stupid that goes on in the world. Fun. Oh man, we got a couple more. Let's check it out. Look, hey, there's $2 for you. You want to say thank you to Wildcat?
Thank you.
That's awesome there. Yeah.
I like Slither much better for that sake.
You like Slither?
Yeah, because he does Slither where no. He is. I make sure that my arms are down so he falls at the tank or up a little.
Yeah, you did good with him. And let's see, Georgie said you can name it Snug, you know, like a tug, lug, bug, and snug. Snake umbrella guy. What do you think? Is that a good name?
I think Slither.
Oh man, look at that. So did Max Lab hit the number? Yeah, let's check it out. I'm gonna look. Oh yeah, I got to 1,000 Max Lab. There you go, brother. Hey, thank you for that too. And congratulations, man. A freaking 1,000 subscribers, dude. That's speed running your subscriber number. So proud of you, man. There you go. Now you just get your 4K and you are good and you're golden. You can post your documents like that. Again, perfect way to build up. But I'm going to end here. I will see you folks later. And thank you again. Appreciate you. We'll probably be here tomorrow early, of course.